welcome back to the co-creation live sessions here. So we're here in Outliers Edge, and I brought in two people who I believe are just incredible outliers in the world. The way that they see the world is different from most of the people, and one of the things I love about both of them is that they're out in the world actively creating. So today you're going to get a chance to be in a conversation that we're having with Brittni and Bryn. My invitation to you here is like we're going to be in co-creation. We're here to build something together. We've in the past we would have talked about our past and just trying to go from that perspective. But this is Outliers Edge, and we're choosing to lean into the edge by continuing to grow and see where the conversation goes. Right. So we're gonna play. There's no agenda here. For the most part, y'all, like you're getting an invitation to come into the conversation that Brittni and Bryn are about to have. And we'll just play out from there. All right. Brittni, Bryn, good to have you here. Thanks for saying yes to the invitation. All right, cool. So we're gonna do this here. Like, let's jump in. Let's jump in. I'm excited to see what shows up and how we decide to play with it. Brittni, you got the invitation. Both of you got the same day invitations, and you both said yes. So I would have started off firstly with just like, why did you say yes to this? We'll start with you, Brittni, then we'll go to you, Bryn, and then like I'll see where I want to take it from there. Brittni, why did you say yes?
I'm
Real
always,
quick, the reason is like, why was this important to say yes to you? So it wasn't just like a casual thing, but why was it important to say yes? What did you know about it?
I would say my default is constantly looking for opportunity. And what I know to be true is that every single conversation that you and I have had, every single thing that we've worked through, anytime I've brought something to one of our calls, like there's massive insights and shifts and takeaways. So again, just when an opportunity presents itself, I am all in. And it was a very, very easy yes. And I'm excited.
Nice. Thanks, Brittany. How about you, Bryn?
So I saw your text at pickleball because I play pickleball every Friday morning, and I was just like, okay, yeah. But similar to Brittni, my conversations with you have always been incredibly deep and rich, and I know I can be my authentic self, even though you don't always get my jokes. I really love,
I got that one.
yeah. But I really love talking to you, but I also know that, you know, everything like just like conversations in general, there's always something. I'm really discovering lately that I'm a verbal processor. And so when I get a chance to talk, when I get to talk out loud, a lot of insight comes, right? Like sometimes you're like, I don't know the answer. And then you talk for long enough, the answer right there, right? So I just kind of was like, yeah, I mean, and anytime I've had the opportunity to be coached by you or be in, some kind of session with you, it's always been so rich. So I was just like, you know what? Yeah, well, why not? Like say
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you're still playing pickleball. That also like gets me. Yeah. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and play. Let's play here because I got to just take some time to just sit with them. All right. So I want to for today's conversation. I think I want to play with the fact that like we all have each other in this space. So sometimes I'll just do one on one with people. Sometimes I'll have us all be popcorning around. I know it's not like we won't do this like a mastermind. It's not that, but there's going to be some element of like I don't know. I feel like I want to play with that. Right. Brittni, we're going to keep starting with you right here. Life changing conversations. Like that's where we are. For some reason with you, like that didn't feel like intense enough. It felt like it was going to be like too easy to just have a life changing conversation with you here. So let's play on the world changing part, Brittni. If this conversation was going to be one that was so impactful, it changed your world, right, for the better, but it changed your world. All right, it doesn't need to change the world, but your world. Where would we take this conversation?
I want to find within myself that drive to where visibility and the reach of my voice. So when I think about like social media or just the ways that I'm in outreach and marketing and whatnot around my business, it's like I want to be in such deep conviction of my deeper mission and in connection with what I am bringing to the world through my work that I follow the process. There's around getting my voice out there. It's like I know incredible things to say and that there's so much value I want to be giving to the world. And to me, I feel like it would change both my world, but just with the ripple effect too. It's like, I just want to kind of like this dam gets broken through where it just becomes unleashed. And I am excited to go make content. I'm excited to show up on camera. Like, I want the excitement that I have for my mission to start translating to how I show up in the online world so that my voice can go further than it has so far.
Nice. There's something here that I want to like see if I can see a distinction on, right? So you have good energy, Brittany. You have good energy. So like generally speaking, like I can see you just being excited, right? Like even when you're talking, like there's motion to you, like you're not stagnant. And so what's coming to me is you're like, I want to bring the excitement from my mission into the content side of things and such. And we might play with that. We'll see where that goes. All right. But the what I well as you were talking, I was like, she generally has good energy. So how will we know when she's like actually in the excitement of her mission versus like just being Brittany as it is, right? And this is before we even get to the content part. I feel like we need to start off in the mission element of this here. So like if like help me and Bryn know like just so we can be honest with you throughout our conversation, like help us see like the discernment between like, oh, this is what Brittany looks like when she's just like excited and she's like on her game and this is great, and this is like when Brittany's on mission. This is what the energy looks like, feels like, and so forth. So we can start from there and make sure we're not talking to just the energetic or the good energy part of you.
When I'm really connected with my mission, I think that comes through. It's not that the excitement gets watered down, but it's like the excitement like lands, because there's that knowing, that inner pull. It's like I myself am a compass. It's like I'm pulled towards what's next. And I think that there's this like undertone of almost like a confidence, because there's no doubt that this mission is game changing for people. It is game changing for the world. And versus the good, I think, can oftentimes also include the perfect performer with be the best energy. How can I make sure that the energy is good enough? Like a lot of the sneaky nuance of just kind of performance or masking. Even if the excitement's real,
Awesome.
It's trying to make it real in the right way.
Is it real right right now? Are we getting the grounded Brittany and her mission version, or are we like where are we at? Like calibrate us in this very moment.
We're pretty
Who's even
grounded.
showing up as someone? Okay.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
grounded in the
All right.
vision. We're grounded in, and the
Okay.
excitement's
All right.
there because it knows that that's
Yeah.
like, yes, this is it. But it feels
Yeah.
settled within the body.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So then my invitation, given that, Brittany, is that throughout this conversation, two things. One, I want to feel it, like feel what you're saying. I want to just like be able to have the experience of that. And then the second thing is when you talked about your mission, like you talked about having a mission and but like the mission itself never got present, right? I'm not going to ask you for it right now, but it'd be really, really wonderful if throughout this conversation, Bryn and I got a chance to just experience and like know what your mission really was. I think like we're like, okay, we get it. This is a person on the mission. She's energetically aligned. She's grounded, and she wants to go bring it out into the world. And now in this conversation right now, I'm not necessarily sure what that mission is, but I know that she's on it. And Bryn, let me know. Do you have a different sense? Do you have a sense of what her mission truly is?
No, I don't. I mean, I think from the beginning of the phone call, or sorry, the session here, it was that she wants to really like help people transform, but it could probably use some more specificity. But I will say I could notice a difference between when she talked the first time, when you were talking to the energy, versus when she sort of slowed down and she was sort of felt like she was more connected with it internally, whether she was able to verbally share it with us or not.
Awesome. Awesome. Brittany, what do you make of any of that here? We could both be really wrong. All right. So like hit us with the truth as Brittany sees it.
No, I think that really resonates. yeah, like the first, the overactiveness, a lot of excited energy, and
Who said
it's like
overactiveness?
coming back.
Real quick. Who said overactiveness? Like that was. I'm sorry if that's what you took from it, but like, there's no part of me that felt this was overactive. What it was is, I'm like, I get to see you, and your natural state has energy behind it, and I want to understand if there's a distinction between what I experience you in the natural state of energy versus in the natural state of mission aligned energy. That was it. But there's no part of it that was like overactive. Like, by the way, you have a rectangle and you best to stay inside of it. Like, literally a box. Please stay inside your box. You know, like, no part of that was a part of it here. It was more that I wanted to take the time to see you and see the nuance of not just like really good energy and people like, wow, she must be so like, versus like what it looks like when that energy is channeled into your mission. That was where that was.
There's like a steadiness underneath it. Like when I'm really tuned in internally, and Bryn really clocked that. It's like the internal connection, not just like the almost like the container connections. Like there's an internal deep connection, and it just feels like aliveness. I kind of get this visual of like tree roots. Like there's an aliveness and a movement and a growth, but it's so steady at the same time. And like that's when I'm internally connected with the mission. I think that is what kind of filters out, and that's what kind of feels more sustainable too, is like this is just a natural, like it's just like a natural high vibe but not high energy, if that makes sense. Like a differentiator versus the excitement is like it's high energy, it is, and there's almost like this like roller coaster kind of like.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to make this about the energy. This really is not the energy. This was about like me fine tuning the dial when you're talking about like getting into the content. The reason I asked this was I was like, I want to see like who's Brittany showing up as right now? Is she in the mission orientation, and we then get to create from that place, or is she in another orientation and creating from there, right? So I really, really, really don't want you to have to even think twice about your energy or any of that stuff at all, because it's completely irrelevant for this conversation, provided like you're in the mission. If we're getting a mission you, then that's it, right? So we'll play with that. There was something I was gonna ask you to do. Eh, nah, I've lost it. I've lost it. But if it comes back, Brittany, I'll bring it in. Um, yeah, we'll let that sit. But yeah, let's keep you playing free. So actually, I'm gonna pause. So this is important for me. This is why I ask, Brittany. I think this is where I wasn't being as honest beforehand. So there's two Brittany missions that I have experienced, right? There's one mission that's like overall transformation, like doing positive good in the world, really making an impact, and like helping people become transformed out in the world. That's one thing I have. And there's another one, and you let me know here if you want me to go here or not. But you talked about uh, the little girl who got to see like what life was like living outside the lane and what was possible for her. And I will tell you, I experienced them as widely different missions. Wildly, they're not the same mission at all, to me. And so I think that's the nuance. That's the dial I think I was trying to click in on, to be like, are we playing with that mission, or are we playing with like the overall mission? So help me see, like, when you're thinking about making content and you're thinking about this thing, you're like, like, which one are you going for? I think that's gonna help. Like, yeah, I want to make sure I'm oriented properly in this conversation to make sure that like we're really seeing you. So which one are you playing with, Brittany?
So the mission is the second one. So the sort of the little girl was, I saw this video of a little girl that was in a pink astronaut suit in the recent shuttle come back to Earth, and it was just such a beautiful video, watching this little girl see a dream that is a dreamable, something that was maybe told that was impossible beforehand is possible for her. And she was playing in this energy. And what it brought me home to was that we all have our inner child, where our parents or society or whatever it is teach us along the way that there are lanes that we are stuck in, that there is a way to live life, that there is a box we're supposed to be in. And I want every single person to find within them that like that joy and that passion that's connected with what they wanted from the beginning, regardless of what society and their families and anyone else says. It's like coming home to what their dream truly is, whether it feels too big, too impossible, too loud. Like, let go of it all, because when we're so connected to what we truly want at the deep level, and we've come home to our inner children who like let go of the dreams along the way, it's like life gets to be lived on our terms. And I guess I see the first part of nation, like that's a vessel of how people can bring that vision to life. But the mission, I feel, is just how people break completely free of the glass ceilings and the boxes that they've been living out of because they were told at one point, this is what you're supposed to do. Back to life gets to be exactly what you want to be. I get to play from there.
Nice. We talk. So I'm actually gonna go to Bryn real quick here, and then Bryn, I'm gonna come to you a little bit deeper on some things for you. But like, was there a difference in that to you? Like I know I talk about a distinction between this and that here. Like, did you experience her differently? Was there a difference there? Would you mind like if there was, do you mind like reflecting anything you
Well,
have from
yeah,
that?
I mean, I think generally, like I said, when she talked at the top of the call, it was more just like, yeah, I just want to help people transform from the corporate all the way to government, all the different lanes. I think the picture of the little girl and watching dreams come true, like really draws you in. So it's a different energy that you experience in how she talked about it. But like I said, what I noticed is just she slowed herself down. She's more, yeah. So I'm
Just
experiencing.
talk directly to her. Like you can just talk. Yeah. We're in the third person out here. Like she's right here. Just the three of us. Go ahead, Bryn.
I don't want to talk to her.
That was another joke. I got it.
Yeah, good. Yeah. All right. So, but no, sorry, Brittany. Yeah, I experienced you differently the second time. It's just like, I think like I was literally thinking as you were talking, like, wouldn't it be great if this was just right here, you just talking to the camera for your content versus trying to think what people need, because I mean I know there's a thousand I mean maybe this isn't where you want me to go, Niiamah, but there's a thousand messages out there of how to package ourselves on social media or to attract our ideal audience. But I think what really connects was when you're talking about how that video struck you, and then and I would like to see you actually go even deeper into that, like stay a little bit less on trying to help everyone realize their dreams and talk more about how you were touched, why that little girl struck you, and where you almost gave up on your dream. Because then now I'm going in. Now I'm going to be more interested in why this is your mission, if that makes sense.
Nice. So, Brady, I'm gonna pause. I'm not gonna have you respond just yet to Bryn on this one, right? But like, we're not like take it in and see what lands. See what lands here, and see how you want to play with that. All right, and for the rest of this conversation, one of the things, Bryn, I appreciate you because you must know me in some way here because like part of this year is I'm like you can every single one of you can clip what comes out of this. Like if you end up saying like your thing and all that, like this is content for you. You can take this and use this. Like I've gotten clients from being coached live publicly on by other people. I've gotten tens of thousands of dollars that have come my way because of that. So use it as you will, but like part of this here is to take us out of the intellectual part and just be it. Let's just let this be a practice. Like, I have a colleague. He once wore a shirt. It was either a shirt or a hat or something like that, but it just said like love, like really, really big, right? And I'm like, oh, like why are you wearing that shirt? He's like, oh, because I want people to know that like I am love and this is what I stand for. And I was like, well, if you were just like love, I think we would get it. Like the fact that to put it on the shirt so loudly is like it's kind of revealing that you're not actually doing what it is that you're trying to get done, you know? So we'll play with that. We'll let this sit. Brittany, let's see where we come up with on that from here. All right. Bryn, thank you for playing it so far. What's actually, no, I'm gonna just, yeah, what's been an insight you've gotten from any part of the conversation ever since I sent you the text?
Uh, well, I wouldn't. I would say that when Brittany was talking about masks, and like being, when we're talking about authenticity, I think, I've always been a believer in the person who says authenticity and beats the drum of authenticity the most is probably the one that's still discovering and who the authentic self is. Because I say the same thing about drama. If somebody's like, I don't like drama, I don't like, I'm like, they got the most drama in their life. So so I'm like, because no one needs to say I don't like serial killers. Like it's just, it's kind of a given that we don't want that stuff, type stuff. So when you talk about masks and things, like I've really been, you know, thinking about, and I'm glad that Brittany brought it up. And I always know there's no accidents. I just know that I'm supposed to be here. So I said yes when I got the text. It was like, yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, there's other things I could be doing. There's parts of my mind that says I should be using this hour for something that is revenue generating or, whatever. But I also choose to surrender to when things show up that are blessings and opportunities. I show up. That's it. Like I want to do this. I like Niiamah. Why not? Right. And I've been having a lot of rich conversations as of late. And it's interesting because I was toying with my title as a coach. And, I always kind of call myself a mindset, mental performance coach, different titles. I don't really care about that. But what recently kind of like, ChatGPT gave me this transition coach. And then what's interesting is that grief has been coming up. Um, and grief, not in the sense of necessarily dying or loss, but the death of one part of you or one chapter or something into a new chapter. And there's just been a lot of themes and like beautiful things because you know when something dies, it fertilizes and then it brings something wonderful to the surface. So I think I've been really excited about like things I've noticed about myself as of late. I really love live videos. I really love um, just being able to be authentic. But when I try to press the record button, I'm always like, okay, well, what I've only got so much time to get this message out. And then all of me, like the things that people see, like where you guys are laughing and stuff, that all disappears when I make videos. And so I'm really because I'm like, oh, I got to get this message out or it's got to be received or, whatever. Now, obviously, if I'm talking about the WNBA, that's easy because I'm just reporting on something. But if I like want to like get a message about transformation or like things that I'm actually, like the mindset piece, it always feels like I go serious and not the way that I would talk about it with my clients or like the jokes that we have on our calls or, there's moments of absolute seriousness and then there's moments of levity because that's so much of who I am. So I think what's coming up for me is just continuing to be a theme this week is how can I be more vulnerable and authentic to who I really am and not lose the true essence of me all in the name of, being a produced version or, like not palatable because that's never been something I care about, but more just like, oh, well, is this going to get me views or customers or whatever? And so like I was recording an audio, for example. I was talking to ChatGPT and it was transcribing and I was like, gosh, I wish I had just pressed record and said all that instead of trying to write an article because I just needed to just say it, even if it was raw, even if it was going to be 10 minutes or whatever, rather than trying to make this, consumable version, which I know everybody says, but there's always people that make long form content and it goes crazy. And I know that while things can be formulaic, it's everything that's ever been successful for me has been when I followed what was right for me and didn't worry about the rules. And so anyway, that's what I've been kind of really coming to as of late is how do I just continue to put the real me everywhere in everything because I don't want the filters. So
I love that. I really like one of the things I enjoy about you is that like is the unfiltered version of you, like the part of you that gets like miffed when I didn't get your joke,
Yeah.
and you're like now my like because like really I show up serious for Brynn.
He's
I'm
so
like I really care for her and her success and the impact that she makes, and I'm just like, Brynn, like we gotta go, and
yeah.
she's like, no, yeah, no, I know, but like I was just joking about that, and that didn't, and she's like, that just went over your head again. Yeah. So so what's curious to me here as you were talking is like I think this is it's an interesting thing because like I started out with Brittany and I was like all right with like where are we at, like calibrate me, right? And it's really interesting that like what I'm hearing from you is like there's also some part of calibration that happens for you where you're like all right, like who like how you show up, like that you're like I hear like it along with like I just want to be natural and I want to keep flowing and I want to be like consistently consistent rather than like the it got we it's almost like being pragmatic ends up messing the whole thing up. You're like,
Yep.
all right, well, I have to be intentional, and this is here, and I got to make sure I start off with the hook and da da
Yeah.
da, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah. Bryn, can I tell you why? Like, I ended up coming back to this coaching podcast format. You good if I
Uh,
share that a little bit here? Yeah, so I was I don't know if I told you this too, Brittany, but over the last 2 years, I was like, I'm going to meet new people and bring them into my world from podcasting, right? And I've done hundreds of them. I've had over 1,000 people come through on the various roundtables that we had. Business was not booming though, right? Like I was making lots of podcast conversations, but business wasn't booming. And I remember like sitting around and getting someone reach out to me in my inbox, and in the inbox there was uh, I started to recognize, I was like, wait a minute, this is an inbound request. They wanted to come. It was someone who had a book they needed to get out, and they're like, hey, can they come onto your podcast, right? And it occurred to me, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I've been seeing this and like treating this as like spam, but like this is an inbound. Someone came to me, they knew that I had something that they wanted, and they asked if they could get it, right? And then I also realized that people were coming onto the podcast, and then they would, after they get done the podcast, they're like, "Yo, my friend Steve or Sam or Jessica, like they would all be really great for this podcast. Can I like introduce you onto that?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." But then I realized later on, I was like, "Oh, wait, that was a referral." Like I didn't ask for that, but there's a word of mouth thing going on, and so the reason that I ended up doing this, Bryn, is because I realized I'm like, oh, hold on. While I was out there trying to meet people, I was accidentally creating a brand. I didn't realize it. And the brand of what I was creating was going out into the world, and it was working for me. It was working. It was doing what a brand does. And it was getting me into places that I wasn't expecting. It wasn't the places I was looking for, but it was getting me into there. And I was like, oh, if I can create this, if I'm creating a brand and people are coming to me with inbound and referrals and all this stuff, and they're seeing me do hundreds of podcast episodes, and they're asking me to do what they think I offer in the world, which is to host podcast sessions. I'm like, what would have happened if over the last 2 years I had created 400 coaching conversations instead? Right. And somewhere along the line, people would have found it and watched it and seen me actually do what I do. And then, like, would my inbox right now be coming in with, like, hey, I have a new person on my team who's struggling with XYZ. I think they might be an outlier. And I was wondering if you could have a conversation with them, or someone finished one of these and like so on and so forth, like actually doing my thing
yeah.
out in the world. Right. There's a part two to this, but let me stop first because I'm seeing some things go through with you. What are you getting from this? How is what I'm sharing related to you?
Yeah. So I had the Mental Advantage podcast, and it was all like, interviewing all these athletes. And I loved it. And I was asking them about their journey, but it never positioned me as an expert. So I didn't get any clients from it, any of that. And so similarly, I felt very much like I need to be doing this, right? But then there's this part of me, and perhaps this is what I need help with. And so I always know that the universe knows the answer. And I just, like I said, I just say yes, is that I treat my sessions very preciously. Like what we talk about is deep. What we talk about is vulnerable. What we talk about could be embarrassing for that athlete or that high performer that they may or may not want the world to see them like that. And so I don't share my coaching sessions. Like I don't put clips of my sessions online or any of those things. And so When Brittni was talking earlier, Brittni, when you were talking earlier, I, I, I really resonated with when you were talking about, oh shoot, I lost it trying to be funny. That happens. That's the only cost of a joke, Brittni, is that you gotta be mindful because it can take you off your game. Um,
Forget about what she was talking about. What did it make you feel?
oh, it just what you were. It made me feel like I want the getting my voice out there. Like I know I'm amazing at what I do. I know I bring value. Like I cannot tell you how much my clients enjoy I enjoy our sessions, like there's a great energy exchange. And I know if people could just this is why I love speaking, because if people see me speak, they always want to hire me. If people see me coach, they're gonna want to work with me. I already know that. So then I wonder on what is there a level which I could be completely unaware of where I'm hiding and I don't know why, right? But I don't think that's it. But Niiamah, you're good at seeing things, so I'll let you mine for gold on that. But I personally just think like, what is it? Like, is there a way I can find that I can share what I do, like something in this medium or something like it, where I don't feel like I would be sacrificing what's fun about, like I did my 5-day challenge and we did hot seat coaching and it gets deep and people are willing, and those were live to a Facebook group, but everybody in the challenge, so 60 people. So it's not impossible, but I've had these excuses for a long time. So, and I mean, there's a difference in a client session and a challenge. So I do want to make that distinction. But anyway, so what's making me feel is like, I have to get out of my own way of the excuses of like why I can't get my voice out there, right? And like, so anyway, I think this opportunity to be with you and Brittni today is just to feel like, maybe this is the permission, like, okay, Bryn, yes, you're on the right track. It feels like a confirmation, like I'm being pulled in the right direction right now. So
Yeah, I don't need to say much to that one, Bryn. I am going to, but I don't really know if I need to because you've just like hit on like one of the secret reasons why I do this.
yeah,
Because I'm like, oh wait, like I'm pretty out there, and this was really really hard for me to get back into, really
yeah,
hard. And the thing about this is that in 2021, 2022, it's been like I did this already. I've had these iterations, right?
yeah,
I meet new people by sending out cold invitations via email, like, and I'm like, who would ever say yes to getting coached on the podcast? Blah blah blah, like all these things. I'm like, you don't know me, right? I'm coming in here and I'm being like, I would love to help you on your impossible goal. Come in here, you outlier, you
yeah,
know. And some of you watching this right now are watching this because you got an email from me saying, "Hey, like you got like you're in this space." Like, but what I realized is I started getting people to come back and they're like, "Thank you so much. I've been wanting to have a space to talk about my impossible goal." Like, and they just started telling me about it. And this was like in the email. Most people were like, "Nope, don't have time for this. What are you doing?" Like, I have my own coach. Like, there were all this other stuff there. But for some people, it was exactly what they needed at that time. One. And I realized like oh like that's what enrollment is to me right now, where it's just like let me go find the people who want what it is that I'm offering rather than having to make it something in
yeah,
like there are people out there who think like me, who want this, who are like, great, I'll take some time to go do this. Like I value what this experience is, whatever it happens to be, right? That's one. The second thing that came to me was like I was like, man, it's really hard for me to go and get like do this. And A, I love coaching. B, I'm a very public person. C, I think that I learn best when I'm like when it's live, because otherwise I try and be too curated, and I'm
yeah,
not very like I'm not very well received in the more curated version of me, you know. Um, and I was like, what, like, how much more room could we have if this was more of the norm, you know?
yeah,
But I just want to share that, like, I feel you on this. I feel you, like you were here on day one. I started out here with like, I want to like my immense gratitude for you two for being here. Cause like, while it may not be much, it was a lot. It was a
yeah.
lot to be here, you know? one last thing, and then I'm going to go. We'll see what you're feeling, and we'll see where the conversation goes. But the it was a lot is also a thing that makes me smile because what I like, what I feel here, and this is something that I think has been with me is like nowadays. I used to do a lot of like, come into my world. I'm going to coach you. Like, you got it, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you want to be able to work with me here, if you want privacy, if you want like, it's really privacy right now
Yeah.
more than anything else, right? Privacy has a cost, right? And it's a very expensive type like tagline for it, right? I am not cheap to work with, right?
Yes. Agreed.
However, if you want to come do it publicly, we're good, right? There's a
Mhm.
like in exchange, we're gonna go live. We're gonna do it in a group. Like you can choose to bring in the deep thing you want to, or not bring in the deep thing. But if you're like, oh, I really wanted help on that deep thing, I'm like, great. Let's talk about an engagement so we can actually do that because that's not gonna happen. That like it could happen through a podcast, but we probably need to create a different container.
Gotta
And so
solve
like
the thing, right? Yeah.
say it again.
You're not gonna solve the whole thing in like this.
Yeah, and like even if we did, there's still maintenance. There's still that like the ongoing portion of this stuff. Like we have like we're good at this stuff. We'll have insights left and
Yeah.
right. Pop, 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 pop. But it's like, what do we do with it? How do we continue to do it? All that stuff. So my invitation here on that third part is like, what if we just created different containers? And you said, this is the one that we're
Yeah.
doing live. And you could say, hey, if we were in our private container, I'd probably ask you a couple different questions here. But since this isn't, like you gotta create that distinction.
Mm.
And that distinction, because here goes the secret of it all. I'm only ever talking to people. But sometimes people are paying this amount. Sometimes they're doing it live. Sometimes they're doing it in a group. But like
Yeah.
my thing is like I'm still here on this same box talking to people. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but it's the containers that we create out of it that makes all that like conveys the value here. What do you make of that, Bryn? And then Brittany, I'm gonna ask you the same question in a bit, but what do you make of that?
I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, holy ish. I'm not gonna swear on your
I don't
podcast.
care if you do, just be you.
Okay. All right, cool. Holy shit. This is so
Yeah.
cool because like I love doing live, right? I love it. And I've been thinking about like, oh yeah, but like I'm tired of doing the live streams only about the WNBA. I've been really thinking about how can I get like people to see what I do because the people that are getting coaching from me, even on those live streams, are coming back and telling me, you've made me a better fan. You make me more regulated in my life. You helped me with this, right? But nobody's seeing that because they're seeing me as a broadcaster, right? And I'm like, I don't want to be a broadcaster. I want to be a coach. I don't even know. I don't even like the term coach. I want to be a visionary. I want to be a
Mm.
maker. I want to be an outlier if that's a term that resonates, right? Like I just know that I I change lives and I need
Mhm.
to be changing them on a regular basis to keep me feeling like I'm doing something good and also charged up, energized, all of those things. And like when I get off a session that is good, I just feel great. Like I'm on cloud nine. Like I'm just like, oh my
Mhm.
God. I remember a couple of months ago, this lady asked me to, well, put a thing out in a group I was in and was like, hey, I've got this classroom of athletes to who are concerned about what's going to happen after their careers are done with athletics, right? And so I said, yeah, I'll talk to them. And she just had the camera facing her class, and it was college athletes. It was about 9 of them, and I just hit it out of the park. They loved it, and I was just like, and I didn't get paid, like, and of course I love getting compensated for what I do, but it was just that it just made all the difference to me, right? And I'm like, man, if I could have taken any of those and just put them on a coaching call and did that, like those are like one of these, that would have been great, because I make those connections. And it just got me excited thinking about how can I do what I do. And Rich, like I
Yep.
met Niiamah um, through Rich Litvin. And honestly, like when he said, like when I went down the Rich Litvin rabbit hole, like you would not believe. And although we are very different temperamentally, Rich and I, When he said, like, every time you speak, you should just be doing a hot, like you should be having people experience your coaching. Every time, you do something like this, a podcast, I'm like, yes, exactly. But then, I hadn't done it because I was just like, who's gonna, kind of like Niiamah said, who's gonna want to be this on a podcast? So I think, yes, helping me being able to think about how to make that distinction, and also like the closing of that, and but that doesn't feel transactional, right? Because since Brittni, you like the word transformational, that's a big part of what I talk about with my athletes, the difference between transactional and transformational. And sometimes, even consultation calls or closing calls, like they feel transactional. And so it's like, I just want, and I think I forgot that this week, I'm actually thinking about a call I had with this principal, and I should have just coached her and not tried to close her. You know what I
So you
mean?
get
Yeah.
there are like I could see you playing with a lot like there's a reason
Yeah.
why I do things live. I just hit record. Like
Yeah.
like people come in my spaces, the recording's already going because I'm
You would
like
never do a consultation call live,
yeah,
which you
yeah.
would coach live, right? So,
I look, Bryn, don't I might. I
well,
I like
fair, 'cause-
I watched Alex Hormozi sell $100 million worth of books live for 3 days. Like, if he could do it, why can't I?
that's true.
You know,
That's fair.
you
I
can
just meant like the questions you ask, like, because the lady was crying. There's like moments, right? So like, I don't know if that feels right.
we can see. I think the thing here is this, like, Bryn, give people a chance to go down the Bryn rabbit hole,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because I know what this guy puts out there, and there are times where people have cried, and you are like, I can't watch this. I gotta exit the rabbit hole. You're like, let me go deeper.
Of course, I
right?
kept watching. It wasn't like I wasn't mad
watching.
to cry. But there's another guy. Can I say
Hold on,
something?
let's not go too far into it, because we're coming up on time. I've missed you.
I wasn't going to talk about Rich. I was just going to
Okay.
say something about, like, the other fear is, like, I don't want gotcha coaching either, where I'm
Cool.
just
So don't do gotcha coaching.
like where it feels like I just want to show people how deep I am, but it's
then don't do that.
responsible. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, Bryn, you got to make this whole thing up.
Yeah.
You got to make this whole thing up. And like I don't know how to, I'm just coming on here and trying my best to just be as me as I can, as I do the things that I can out here, right? And there could be some times where someone's gonna go out in the world and be like, he's just doing gotcha coaching. I'm like, okay. Other people are gonna be like, wow, that time would you this is why I say, what was your biggest insight? It might have been from the text message coming in, the coach already begin. Because I might coach this whole entire time, and Brittany's like, I got what I needed. The moment I said yes, we good. So I think the thing is, release what other people are going to be thinking about you. I think that there's a lot of external perceptions and what are they going to say? And da 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 da. It's let go of that. Let go of that one there. And keep doing your thing so that the people who are resonating with it will go with it. And the people who are like, oh, that time that you did this, I would love it, but I don't feel comfortable doing it live. It's great. Let's have a consultation. Let's have a conversation about what it'd be like to be in my private world. No problem. Other people, it's not about live, it's about groups. They're like, I can't see myself doing it in a group. I'm like, no problem. I have an offering for the private one, like one-on-one. Or I have another offering that's group. So, all right. So, Brittni, you've been patient, but at the same time, this whole conversation was actually for you this entire time, right? All the content you want to do, all the things about showing up your mission, hit us with what are you taking from this? What are some of the insights you're seeing from this? And if you see anything for Bryn, we can bring that into. But start off with you. I have to ask Bryn if she's open to coming to her. So let's start off with you first.
Yeah, there's so much that's been coming through, because the synchronicity of this call is out mirrors for each other, and everything that you say, I felt like I just feel reflected in me. I felt like as I spoke, it was reflected in you, and even as you were just there, was locked in on your and the energy shifted. I could feel it. I changed lives. And you had a whole spiel of things of that you were really clean. I was heck yeah. And I feel like what's really coming through from this conversation shared, Bryn, which is very much mirrored in what I'm owning too, is this is the difference of ours is a lifestyle. We're not coaches to clock into a 9 to 5 where we're coaching people. It's we're coaches because it's in our blood. It's on a level. We're here to use our words to shift consciousness. And I think that what this conversation has brought through is we don't need to be on a call in a container or anything like that. It's like meditate all the time. Like it's like just instead of, oh, I'm gonna put on my coaching hat, it's like, oh, I'm just looking for doors to open for people. Like I feel like as coaches, we open the door. It's up to them to walk through the door. And we get to decide which doors we're opening when. And it's like, instead of seeing that as something to do, it's like, oh, that's just how I am. And for me, it's like that translates into the organic conversations you have at the grocery store, the coffee shop, into the actual calls, whether they're sales calls or free coaching calls or funnels or whatever it is, all the way through to the content and showing up online and in kind of like in that marketing space. It's letting go of everything as a to-do or as the hat that I wear. It's like, oh, I just see what people don't. I see the missed opportunities, see the gaps, and it's of service to just share it with the world, to not hold it back, to not play small. Perception and opinions and things like that, but instead just what doors can I open today and see who walks in from there. So kind of long spiel. I mean, there's been so many of this conversation, but for me, it's just coming back to like this embodiment component where we're embodying the mission, embodying our service, and it doesn't need to look any certain way. It doesn't need to be in any certain way. It's just like by being an embodiment, we're already in service as people, as coaches, as XYZ.
Gotcha. That was my attempt at a joke, Bryn, but Bryn did not laugh. So I was trying with it. No, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. This is why I don't joke, y'all. This is why I'm funny, but I'm not funny like that.
You
Bryn,
are funny, but you know you are funny.
yeah. But like, I think this is it. I think like we're gonna wrap for today. Just like
Yeah.
somehow the time just like flew by. But I
Yeah.
think what's coming out on for me as I think about all of us in this space here is like, look, we're all naturally gifted in creating experiences of transformation, whatever it happens to be, whatever titles we want to use, so on and so forth. Like we're all out here, like, yeah, having people experience transformation. And I think that like we keep getting caught in different ways of like, this is how it's like, this is what other people are doing. And so maybe that's how it's supposed to look. You know, Bryn, when you said like I don't want to be a broadcaster, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be a podcaster. Right.
Yeah.
But you know, like I'm like, oh crap, they think I'm a podcaster. So they keep bringing me like, but at the end of the day though, I'm like, but I do know how to use a podcast to my advantage. So I can create like what if I became the person who learned how to transform on a podcast? Other people are building media businesses and they want ad revenue and sponsors and like they're doing it for a completely different reason than I am. So I can't use them as examples. They don't have my business. They don't have my impact. They're just not it. But I find them because they're good at what they do. It's just to get attention, you know? But I'm
Yeah.
good at what I do. And each of you are good with yours. So like we'll leave this with this here. I'm grateful for each of you. Thank you both for getting us started with these things. Thank you for not holding back. I'd love to see how these things evolve for you over the upcoming weeks, and we'll keep playing from there. All right. All right.
Thank you.
Most definitely. Outliers, we'll see you later. If you want to come in and join us in some of these things here, you can go to school.com/outlier. That's where we're currently playing right now. Live coaching, live experiences, and just hanging out with awesome people who are continuously growing, coaches and beyond. All right. Until the next time we talk, be you on purpose. Journey on.